What if I told you that the very thing you're running from is actually the key to getting everything you want? Most people spend their entire lives fighting against their dark side, pushing down their uncomfortable emotions and pretending their flaws don't exist. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's your untapped superpower. I'm about to show you how to use shadow work to ethically transform your biggest weaknesses into your greatest strengths. This isn't some new age nonsense or manipulation tactics. This is about becoming so self-aware and authentic that opportunities, relationships, and success naturally gravitate toward you. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the most successful people in the world have learned to embrace their darkness instead of hiding from it. You'll discover the exact steps to turn your insecurities into confidence, your anger into motivation, and your fears into fuel. This changes everything. Part 1. The mirror hack. Have you ever wondered why certain people just get under your skin instantly? Why your boss makes you want to scream? Or why that one friend's habits drive you absolutely crazy? Here's something that will blow your mind about these reactions. The people who trigger you the most are actually giving you the biggest gift possible. They're showing you exactly where your hidden treasure is buried. This is tip number 1 out of 8, and I call it the mirror hack. Every person who annoys you is holding up a mirror to your soul. When someone's arrogance bothers you, it's because you're judging your own hidden arrogance. When their neediness frustrates you, it's your own unmet needs crying out for attention. The intensity of your reaction is directly proportional to the size of the gold mine waiting inside you. Instead of getting defensive or angry, start asking yourself a different question. What is this person showing me about myself that I've been refusing to see? That burning feeling in your chest when they act certain ways. That's your internal GPS pointing straight toward your next level of power. Use every trigger as a treasure map to your shadow and watch how quickly your life transforms. Part 2. The villain's virtue. What if everything you hate about yourself is actually your greatest asset in disguise? What if the very traits that make you cringe when you look in the mirror are the exact qualities that could make you unstoppable? I'm about to show you something that will completely flip your self-perception upside down. This is tip number 2 out of 8, and it's called the villain's virtue. Your biggest character flaws aren't bugs in your system. They're features that haven't been properly activated yet. Think about the trait you're most ashamed of. Maybe you think you're too selfish, but selfishness, when channeled correctly, becomes healthy boundaries that protect your energy and attract respect. Maybe you think you're stubborn as a mule, but that stubbornness is actually unstoppable persistence waiting to be directed toward your goals. Even your anger has a hidden superpower. Anger is just fierce protection energy that hasn't found its proper target yet. When you learn to channel it toward defending what truly matters to you, it becomes an unstoppable force for positive change. The key is not to eliminate these traits, but to transform them. Your darkness isn't your enemy, it's your raw material for greatness. So, what's the story about yourself that you would never tell anyone? You know, that experience that makes you want to hide under a rock whenever it crosses your mind. Well, what if I told you that this exact story is actually your secret weapon for creating deeper connections and attracting everything you want? I know this sounds totally backwards, but stick with me here. This is tip number 3 out of 8, and it's called shame alchemy. The stories you're most ashamed to tell are often the ones that create the deepest human connections. When you're vulnerable about your struggles, people don't judge you. They actually relate to you. They see their own hidden pain reflected in your courage to speak truth, and honestly, this creates a magnetic pull that draws the right people and opportunities into your life. Your shame is just power that's been turned inward and twisted into self-attack. But when you own your story completely instead of hiding from it, something pretty magical happens. Your vulnerability becomes your superpower. People trust you more because you're real. They want to work with you, be around you, and support you because authenticity is, well, rare and precious. The very thing you think makes you unlovable is actually what makes you irresistible. So, stop hiding your scars and start showing them as proof of your strength. All right, what scares you more than anything else in the world? Is it public speaking, maybe starting your own business, or hey, maybe it's telling someone how you really feel? Here's what nobody really tells you about fear. It's not actually trying to protect you from danger. It's trying to protect you from your own power. And that's exactly why you need to start following it, kind of like a compass. This is tip number 4 out of 8, and I call it the fear compass. Fear doesn't just show up randomly. It shows up precisely where your biggest breakthrough is waiting for you. The thing that terrifies you the most is pointing directly toward your unexplored potential. Every successful person you admire has walked straight through the fire of their deepest fears to get where they are. Fear isn't a stop sign. It's more like a treasure map with a giant X marking the spot where your next level of success is buried. When you feel that stomach-dropping terror about something, that's your internal GPS saying you're getting warmer. The bigger the fear, the bigger the breakthrough waiting on the other side. So instead of running away from what scares you, start running toward it. Your fear is trying to lead you to everything you want. The real question is, are you brave enough to follow? We all have them in our lives, those people who drain your energy just by walking into the room. The ones who always have drama, always need something, and somehow make every conversation about their problems. Most people try to avoid these energy vampires, but what if I told you they're actually your secret personal trainers for becoming unstoppable? This is tip number 5 out of 8, called the energy vampire defense. Instead of seeing difficult people as obstacles, start seeing them as free therapy sessions. Every toxic interaction is actually showing you exactly what you need to heal to level up. That coworker who never takes responsibility, they're training you to hold better boundaries. That friend who always plays victim, they're teaching you to stop rescuing people who don't want to be saved. These people trigger you because they're reflecting back your own unhealed patterns. When you stop trying to change them and start asking what they're here to teach you, everything shifts. Every difficult conversation becomes a strength-building exercise. Every boundary you set makes you more powerful. Every time you refuse to get sucked into their drama, you become more magnetic to the right people. Use every energy vampire as your personal trainer for becoming the person who naturally attracts success. Right now, there's a voice in your head telling you all the reasons why you can't succeed. It's listing your flaws, predicting your failures, and reminding you of every mistake you've ever made. Most people try to silence this inner critic, but what if I told you that fighting it is exactly why it gets stronger? What if the secret is to do the exact opposite? This is tip number 6 out of 8, and it's called the dark twin strategy. Your inner critic isn't your enemy. It's actually your poorly trained protector trying to keep you safe from rejection and failure. Instead of fighting this voice, start having conversations with it. Ask it what it's trying to protect you from. Listen to its concerns without judgment. Often your inner critic has valuable information about real risks you need to consider. When you stop treating your negative self-talk as the enemy and start treating it as a cautious advisor, something amazing happens. It stops being so loud and aggressive because it feels heard. You can then separate the useful warnings from the self-sabotage. Your inner critic becomes your ally instead of your opponent. This inner partnership creates an unstoppable confidence that attracts everything you want because you're no longer at war with yourself. Part 7, the projection retrieval. Think about someone you absolutely can't stand. Picture their most annoying quality in vivid detail. Now think about someone you deeply admire. What quality do they have that you wish you possessed? Here's something that will shock you about both of these people. They're not actually separate from you at all. They're showing you disowned parts of yourself that you've scattered across the world. This is tip number 7 out of 8, called projection retrieval. Everything you strongly react to in other people, whether love or hate, is actually a quality that exists inside you. The arrogance you despise in others, you have that too, but you've disowned it. The confidence you admire in someone else, that's already inside you, waiting to be claimed. When you project these qualities onto others, you literally give away your power. The secret to becoming magnetic and attracting what you want is to collect all these scattered pieces of yourself. Own your capacity for both the light and dark qualities you see in others. When you integrate these projections, you become whole and authentic. People are naturally drawn to wholeness because it's rare. You stop needing others to be perfect or terrible because you've embraced your own full spectrum. This completeness naturally attracts success, love, and opportunities because you're no longer seeking outside yourself. Part 8. The Shadow Integration Ritual. You now have 7 powerful strategies for transforming your shadow into success, but knowledge without action is just entertainment. What you need is a simple daily practice that weaves all of this together and creates lasting change in your life. This final technique is the foundation that makes everything else work. This is tip number 8 out of 8, the Shadow Integration Ritual. Every single day before you go to bed, ask yourself one question. What is one thing about myself that I've been avoiding or denying today? Maybe you were jealous of a friend's success. Maybe you were controlling in a conversation. Maybe you felt afraid of taking a risk. Don't judge it, just acknowledge it honestly. Then ask yourself the magic question. What gift is hidden inside this shadow quality? Your jealousy might be showing you what you really want to create. Your controlling nature might be revealing your natural leadership abilities. Your fear might be pointing toward your next breakthrough. This daily practice of acknowledgement and gift finding builds the self-awareness that transforms your entire life trajectory. It takes less than 5 minutes, but it rewires your brain to see shadows as assets instead of enemies. This one practice alone will change everything if you commit to it consistently. The shadow work you've learned today isn't just theory, it's a complete system for turning your greatest weaknesses into your most powerful assets. Every trigger becomes a treasure map, every flaw becomes a feature, every fear becomes a compass pointing toward your breakthrough. The people who drain you become your personal trainers, and the voice in your head becomes your ally. Your shadow has been waiting your entire life for you to embrace it. It contains all the power, authenticity, and magnetism you need to get everything you want. The only question now is whether you're ready to stop running from your darkness and start dancing with it. Your transformation begins the moment you do.